Hello, welcome back to the sideboard here at the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Oakland. I'm Nick Miller alongside Omid Farivar. How are you doing today?
Great, fantastic.
Now, we got you on camera a little bit ago for a smidget of just one game of your match, but you're playing Rabble bots.
Rabble bots, not blue-red artifacts, Rabble bots.
Right. So you're a blue-red artifact-based deck. You know,
Yeah.
as soon as people saw Insole Artifact and Ornithopter, they're like, all right, here's our deck.
Yep.
You got Darksteel Citadel as well. Now, you've mixed it up a little bit. You got some cards in here we don't normally see.
Yep.
Obviously, you got your Phyrexian Revokers, but you got Rabble Master, and then your suite of burn spells, but you also got some Stubborn Denial's Main and Crater's Claws just going way over the top.
Yeah, so I think those are key. What I was thinking is I had Stoke of the Flames instead of Crater's Claws, but when it came down to testing the deck, hitting 2 red was often pretty hard.
Okay.
And I didn't want to convoke my guys. I wanted to be just pushing through damage.
Right.
And since I'm making 5/5s, that's how this deck wins. I almost always have Ferocious for those 2 spells, so they just seem like excellent spells to include. And how do people beat my 5/5s? They remove them. So I just have 1 mana negate, basically.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see a deck that can actually utilize the Ferocious mechanic. You know, you're making 5/5s for 2 mana.
Yep.
Might as well have your cards that can capitalize with the Ferocious mechanic. Stubborn Denial just nailing all the cards you care about once you have your 5/5.
Totally does, yeah. And I would say the worst cards to see are Abzan Charm and Utter End. Downfall I don't care about too much because sometimes I have it on the Darksteel, so.
Right,
Yeah.
something like Jeskai Charm can also bounce your spells, so you want to make sure.
The charms are brutal, yep. Totally.
And you've got Ghostfire Blade as a 4-of suit up on your just plethora of threats. You got can make Revoker a real threat.
Yep.
And of course, making a 5/5 to 7/7.
Yep.
Also
So yeah, Ghostfire Blade turns a 4-turn clock into a 3-turn clock. It's also an Insole target. It makes Rabble Master a 4/4 if I have the mana spend, which also turns on my Ferocious for my other guys.
All right, a lot of synergies going on here.
Yep.
You also, of course, have Shrapnel Blast, so when you get them within burn range, you can just throw away any of these
Lands,
artifacts.
whatever. Yep.
Right, I think I saw you last round, attack a guy down to 7, Magma Jet him,
Yep.
Shrapnel Blast, game over.
Usually when people tap out against this deck, it's pretty bad news for them. So, yeah, which may make us want to talk about the sideboard.
Right.
I don't know.
Right, so you've got 2 Dig Through Time in the main deck, but you said this card is underperformed.
I'm taking them out.
All right.
It's just not what this deck wants to do.
And the card you're thinking about putting in its spot is a 4-of Twin Flame in your sideboard.
Yeah.
Just a card that can make your 5/5s even more 5/5s.
Just want 5/5s.
Yeah.
This deck could be just called 5/5s. 5.5. Yeah.
So is Dig Through Time just too slow, or you're not filling up your graveyard, or what makes it not good enough?
So the thing is, if I have Dig Through Time in my hand, I'm mulliganing.
Okay.
If I draw into Dig Through Time, I usually end up having to, having 2 blue is often not what I want to spend, because I want to have blue up for this and this.
Right.
So in general, I just think it's just it's just almost always a dead card. I can't think of a scenario where I just need to dig for those 2 burn spells and kill somebody. I always feel it's just casting it, I'm always a turn behind. So I think just having more 5/5s is
Right,
just
just having more threats as opposed to
Yeah.
finding your threats. Was there ever a thought of Treasure Cruise due to its only 1 blue?
Some people at Anime Imports, they were talking about adding Treasure Cruise just from the beginning, and in the end I just went for Dig, because you get 2 cards and you get to pick the 2 cards instead of just random 3. Treasure Cruise could work because I'm often getting 2 for 1 when it's not going my way, so I fill up the graveyard pretty fast. But I don't know. Maybe just put in 2 Stoke. I don't know.
Yeah, when things
We'll see where it goes.
when things go bad for the deck, you're usually getting blown out when you're trying to put an Insole on something, or equipping something.
At its very essence, this is a combo deck, right? I want certain pieces in my opening hand, and then I want to draw into other threats that could help end the game, but ultimately it's the first 7 cards.
Right.
I need one of these guys, or one of these guys, or one of these guys with one of these guys, and if I don't have that, I'm often mulliganing. So it plays very much like a combo deck.
Yeah, you have to have your pieces match up early on, and for that, you just need the cards. You don't want to be having the blanks.
Yep,
Now,
absolutely.
on top of the twin flames, you got a pretty spicy sideboard
It's
here.
pretty spicy,
You got
to say the least.
2 Clever Impersonators, which when I asked, you said more 5/5s.
I mean, like I said, this deck is just... so another name for the deck I was thinking about was 2 Fast, 4 Furious.
Okay.
But anyways.
Or 4 Ferocious.
There you go. Yeah, even better. Yeah, impersonators are for like planeswalkers that really affect the board. Like Sarkhan is super good. So impersonate a Sarkhan, either kill something or get in for 4 in the air. Impersonate a 5/5, impersonate a Rabble, get like extra. I don't know. It's pretty versatile.
Yeah.
So I like it.
You got some Anger of the Gods here to deal with aggro decks. This deck is
I'm going up to
actually
4.
seems pretty good against the aggro decks. You're just faster than them usually. You know.
Totally.
They play a couple 1/1s. You play a couple 5/5s.
Yep.
You control the rest of the game. So Anger even better, doesn't hit most of your stuff.
And with the reasons you just described, I think that's why I'm going to go to 4. I'll probably take out like I don't even know if this is like a disdainful stroke deck, so I'll probably just take out 2 of those. Add another random card I'll think of later and put in 2 more Angers. The Anger is so good right now.
Yeah. It just cleans up all kinds of threats.
Totally.
You have the 3 disdainful stroke, like you said. You're kind of wavering on that, but always good to be able to hit stuff like exactly.
Yeah.
Siege Rhino is what the aggro decks don't want to see. And then you got Karanos and Thassa in here too. What's the thought process behind these guys?
Sure. Thassa is card selection and making my 5/5s unblockable, which is sweet.
Okay.
Karanos is in the grindy black-blue control decks. It's just like a win condition. So like, assuming that they have used all their like arsenal against my Ensoul targets, I'm gonna resolve this ideally and just like card advantage and lightning bolts.
Just ride it to victory.
It's a sweet card. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're playing this deck in an open field, what are you looking to dodge? What do you not really want to play with something like this?
So this is the first competitive outing of this deck, and I think so. My only loss so far is to an Abzan mid, which I kind of built this deck to beat. So either I drew really poorly or I played badly. I don't know why I lost, but I would say Jeskai Tempo is scary. I would say Abzan mid is just scary.
Right.
The thing is, I've beaten 2 different Jeskai decks, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. My answer would probably be an Abzan mid. I just feel like it's just awkward because they can block a lot, and then like their top deck is like infinitely better than my top deck.
Right.
So.
Well, it seems like when you're trying to play into the Jeskai deck, it's a bad matchup. But if you can ever land one of your threats, they just have a very difficult time dealing with it. You know, the 5 toughness just makes it out of reach of all of its burn.
5/5s.
Yeah.
So in this meta, I think 5/5 is where we want to be.
Better than Siege Rhino.
It's like exactly 1 better than Siege Rhino.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, this deck is sweet. You're 4-1 after 5 rounds.
4-1, yeah.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for sitting down with me in the sideboard,
All right,
Omid. For everyone at home, stay tuned to StarCityGames.com all weekend long for the action here at Oakland.